Hello darling beloveds, my name is Evonne and welcome to the Cycle Report for the 29th of August 2019. I stand here in Dja Dja Wurrung country in Central Highlands, Victoria, Australia in the Southern Hemisphere. So we are the midway point between what pagan would traditionally call it as Imbolc and spring equinox. So we have gone past that cross point of cross quarters Imbolc, and we're moving towards spring equinox where we are getting more and more daylight hours here. It is now almost 6 o'clock and the sun hasn't even, well, it's just starting to begin to set, which is very exciting, which is a far cry different to what it was 4 weeks ago. So we are emerging out of the darkness, but we're still not there yet with spring equinox equaling sort of equivalent to 6 o'clock in the morning. So where we're at now, if you'll put the time of the day equivalent on it, would be about 4 o'clock in the morning. So still very much a dreamscape space. And as I mentioned last week, it is the time of birthing, it's a time of the emergence, and it's also the time of the child. So between Imbolc, which is sort of around the 2nd of August, to about the 22nd of September, which equivalent is to puberty, this is the time of the child, the dreamscape. And I've been thinking a lot about this recently, and I have 4 children of my own, still very much in this dreamscape space. And the reason why they're in these dreamscape spaces is because they've just emerged from the womb, from who knows where else, from what I believe the cosmos, somewhere out there, and they are just learning about the world. They're learning about the world around them. They're dreaming. They have these amazing games that they play, all imaginary, which is an essential part of childhood, to allow them to be in these wild spaces, and wild spaces in the trees and the forest, and to allow them to learn all the things that they need to learn through their own abilities and what they're ready for, and to dream the good dreams. This is the time for them. They're dreaming the dreams of their future. And if a kid is in the classroom a lot and is being forced into doing these maths and the spelling and all the adult sort of mind stuff, they start to lose that connection with the dreamscape space, and forcing them to grow up quicker and faster and to be more adult than child when they're still needing to be in that dreamscape so they can dream out the good dreams, to connect, to allow themselves to be immersed in the wild spaces. Absolutely essential. I've been reading this book, Last Child in the Woods, and it talks about how at the moment way we're heading and having more and more sort of exposure for children, exposure to things like screen times and academic learning, that the childhood, the phase of the child is diminishing, and it's what we're seeing is a rise in mental health illnesses and behavioural issues because children are not able to get out and be in an unsupervised wild space. I truly believe that kids who are allowed to be in the wild spaces will be the leaders of the new paradigm. Our earth, our frequency is rising on this earth, and more people are waking up and becoming conscious. And those children who have been exposed to wild, natural spaces without supervision and had that chance to explore and commune with the wild, non-human spaces will know what will need to happen when we're shifting, as we are shifting into this new way of being. The old way of the patriarchal is dying. We are at the end of the need to always be producing. We're at the end of the wounded masculine, the wounded feminine spaces, the unconscious spaces, and the need to be always working. we are moving out of that phase to be more connected to the ways of the wild spaces. So essential for children to be out and to have wild spaces. And this is the time. And if you look on the wheel, of course, it makes so much sense, because this is equivalent to about 4 o'clock in the morning. We are still, if you're not a shift worker, very much in a dreamscape space. And this is the spaces where the children need to sit in for their crucial development into, conscious adults. If we, to be connected to the wild spaces, to take full responsibility. Because if a child is allowed to have a childhood, they won't be cangering, that's not even a word, but, hungering for, a childhood. And they'll keep trying to look for it and try to look for it and never actually, going up. And you'll see 22-year-olds or even 30, 40, 50-year-olds, look at our politicians, still stuck in a childhood adolescent scape and not being able to step out and be fully human because of that stuckness, because not disconnect for the wild spaces. So that's my little rant on childhood and how important it is to be children and allow children to be children. We are sitting under a dark moon, so this is the time of letting go that all no longer serves. So now's the time to do your dark moon prayers. We click over to the new moon tomorrow, and so new moon prayers on Saturday would be a very good thing to do to really bring in the consciousness of what an intention of what you want to bring in the next moon cycle, because every word's a spell, and if we can do it at the point where the most energy is shifting into those new spaces, it will just sort of almost like rocket boost what you want coming through. But right now we sit on a dark moon, so a spell would be I let go of all that no longer serves, and collecting the seeds of this moon cycle, because that will be a clue to what you're going to bring in, what you're wanting to bring in the new cycle come Saturday morning. So here we sit under a dark moon. And I am direct ovulation, so I am day 11. I ovulated 2 days ago. I knew because of this the gooey spin that you get. So I am in my full peak energy at the moment, which feels so good, because tomorrow I leave to go on wilderness solo to help hold space for beautiful, luscious women who are going out into the wild spaces where children reside, to sit there and feel themselves, their inner scape, and to feel more than human. So I'll be doing that for the School of Shamanic Womancraft 4 seasons journey in the Otways with our teacher Nymh and all the other delicious apprentices that hold that, and all the delicious women who are going out to do this very, very important work to bring back the healed feminine and the healed masculine, because we both have the healed, the inner masculine and an inner feminine in us all. So I think that's it. So best of luck to all the women going up. I'll be there and we'll be drumming for you. And if you feel the call on, I think Vigil Night will be on Thursday or Friday night. I'm not exactly sure, can't remember. But if you feel called, send us love and the women love and light candles and drum, because they are doing awesome work. A couple of really, really exciting things that are coming up. I am birthing, I'm heavily pregnant and I'm about to birth. Couple of new workshops actually. Death of the Maiden, Rites of Passage into Motherhood workshop at the end of October here in Central Highlands, Victoria, which will be a 1-day long workshop. It will also be an offering online, which 4 live webinars to go with that. So that is super exciting. So follow my Instagram. That would be the best way to find out about when all that is happening. Also, my dear friend and midwife, Mary Louise Parr, and myself will be starting a new webinar on birth, sacred birth and mothering. And our first guest is none other than Jane Hardwicke Collings, midwife and Marga and midwife to transformation of women, and we're very honoured that she is joining us for that. So watch out again on my Instagram feed. You'll find out more about that when it's coming. I think it's on the 17th of September, but yeah, Instagram it. Follow my Instagram, Evonne Wildheart, and that's where you'll find out all about this information. Super exciting. So from my heart to your beautiful, beautiful, amazing hearts under this dark moon, may you let go of all that no longer serves, and may you feel the love of this void space and the expansion that we have going on here. So much love. Thank you for listening. Bye.